Hi everyone, this is one of my last videos of my trip to Iraq. The next one will be the last. I will talk about Kurdistan, the autonomous region in the north of Iraq. I have received several questions about how to travel to Iraq, how to get the visa, and other interesting questions that I'm going to share with you. I am also going to share my experience in the city of Basra and Mosul. I traveled almost 2 weeks in Iraq, but the first 9 days were done with Badr Khan expeditions. We visited the city of Basra on our 7th day, and that same day we were returning to Baghdad. As you have seen in my other videos, I never felt in danger. Keep in mind that I went at the beginning of 2022. I don't know how it's gonna be in 2023. This area can be a little bit unstable. I decided to travel with Badr Khan because I have been following him on social media for a time, and I saw other YouTubers traveling with him. Also because I know that many people here do not speak English, so I think it's easier to travel with a guide. Good morning, we're here in Basra and we're starting with one of Saddam palace that now it has become a museum. For the visa, I traveled with a Canadian passport, so I was eligible for a visa on arrival. When you arrive at the airport, you fill out a form and pay $75 for the visa. Australia, New Zealand, the United States, and other first world countries have visa on arrival. For other countries, unfortunately, I don't know how to help you. I looked for official government websites, but I didn't find the information. If you have traveled to Iraq with a passport that was not eligible for visa on arrival, please share your experience on the comments. Thank you.
It's like a little signature.
Yeah, exactly. This is where the two rivers join together. The old city of Basra was once called the Venice of the East. As you can see, today it is in very bad conditions. But it is under the protection of UNESCO, and the UNESCO website says that they have a budget of more than $5 million for Basra and Mosul, and that the project was from March 2019 to November 2021. Our guide took us to a place to take beautiful pictures and maybe to evaluate if the balcony is in good condition, because that thing was not solid. When leaving Basra to return to Baghdad, we could see the oil wells. Iraq's air is very polluted. The oil companies, that obviously are all like foreigners, they don't take care of the quality of the air and the population. Another thing that is very important to know when traveling in this country is that you will go through many checkpoints. But there's no need to stress. They're pretty chill. We arrived late at Baghdad and we visited nice malls in the city.
Not just ready to touch one. He's going to arrive at the table hungry.
The next day, we visited places that we did not have time in the first days. This was our last day with the group, but some of us were going together with Badr Khan to Kurdistan. In the next video, I'm going to explain more in detail everything that has to do with Kurdistan, but to go to Mosul, it's easier to go through Kurdistan and safer, I think. Let me explain. So Badr Khan gave us two options for the next day. The first option was to visit Mosul and then Kurdistan, but we had to leave early during the day because ISIS capsule has still remained in the road between Baghdad and Mosul, and they mostly come out at night. The second option was to go to Soleimani in Kurdistan and then go to Mosul, passing through the north. Obviously, I went with the second option. When we were in Kurdistan, with 2 friends, we took a taxi from the city of Erbil to Mosul. Mosul is the second largest city in Iraq and was one of the most affected cities in the war against ISIS. It was only released in 2017 and the damage caused by that war can still be seen. Since we had little time, we only visited Old Mosul, the part that is still destroyed. It is important to know that there is the new Mosul that was rebuilt and that is worth visiting according to our guide. It was my first time visiting a city devastated by a war. The people in the streets smiled at us and they were kind to us, like in all of Iraq, but they had a different look. I could feel something was different in their eyes. That look on their face broke my heart. There were children playing in this area and families still living here. There was a moment I felt a certain anger against the human being because how it is possible to cause so much damage to other human beings. And don't get me started with the leaders of this world and the media that no longer talks about Iraq, which is a country that still needs help. Then we visited Bashtabia Castle, which honestly isn't much left but has a nice view of the Tigris River and the city. It was part of the old fortress of Mosul. Ooh, look at that. You know the bridge, the thing that is holding, how you call that? L'affaire en métal là.
The reinforcing steel.
Yes. It was time to return to Kurdistan. I was very thoughtful through the journey. There are still refugees camped outside of Mosul. There are people who have not been able to return to their homes or rebuild their lives in the city. This trip impacted me a lot and I know that something changed in me, in how I see life and how human beings are. Iraq is worth visiting and tourism is a way of supporting the country financially, but I also think it's a nice exchange between 2 people who come from different places. You learn about the culture of the country and they also learn about you and where you come from. If you haven't watched my other videos, Iraq has beautiful places, historical places, and a good gastronomy. In my next and last video about this trip, you will visit Kurdistan, the autonomous region in the north of Iraq. See you next time!